Have you ever woken up feeling just fine, no aches, no pains, only to find out later that something wasn't quite right? Maybe a friend mentioned they'd been feeling run down for weeks, and then, bam, they ended up in the hospital with a health scare they never saw coming. That's the thing about getting older, isn't it? Some of the biggest threats to our arduous health don't knock on the door. They slip in silently, like uninvited guests. And by the time we notice, they've already made themselves at home. But here's the good news. We're not powerless. Today we're going to talk about 4 of these silent killers that often show up after 65, and most importantly, how to spot them before they cause harm. Think of it like learning to read the weather before a storm hits. With a little awareness and a few simple steps, we can protect the health and independence we've worked so hard to enjoy. Now, let's start with the first silent killer, one you've probably heard about, but might not realize is quietly affecting you or someone you love. Silent killer number 1, high blood pressure, the quiet saboteur. You know, my neighbor Frank always prided himself on being fit as a fiddle. He walks his dog every morning, eats his veggies, and still tends to his rose garden. But last year, out of nowhere, he had a mini stroke. Turns out Frank's blood pressure had been creeping up for years. No headaches, no dizziness, no warning signs. He only found out during a routine checkup, after the damage was done. That's the sneaky thing about high blood pressure. It's like a leaky pipe in your basement. You won't always hear the drip, but over time, it can weaken the foundation. For us, that foundation is our heart, kidneys, and even our brain. So, how do we spot it? Get familiar with your numbers. A normal blood pressure reading is around 120/80. If yours is consistently over 130/80, it's time to have a chat with your doctor. And here's the kicker. You can't rely on how you feel. Frank felt perfectly fine until he wasn't. Now, stopping it? Small tweaks make a big difference. Swap out processed foods for fresh herbs and spices to cut down on salt. Try a 10-minute walk after dinner. It's not just for your legs, it's for your arteries. And if your doctor recommends medication, think of it like a seatbelt, not a punishment, but a layer of protection. Now, let's talk about the second silent killer, one that weakens us from the inside out, often without a single symptom until snap. Silent killer number 2, osteoporosis, the bone thief. A few years back, my sister-in-law, Margaret, bent down to pick up her cat, lost her balance, and just like that, she fractured her wrist. "I barely bumped anything," she said. Turns out her bones had been thinning for years, quietly losing strength like sand slipping through an hourglass. Osteoporosis isn't just about old bones. It's about losing the freedom to garden, to travel, to hug your grandkids, without fear of a life-changing break. And here's what's scary. You can't feel your bones getting weaker. By the time you notice height loss or a hunched posture, the damage is already significant. So how do we fight back? First, ask for a bone density scan if you're over 65. It's quick, painless, and covered by most insurance. Next, load up on calcium-rich foods like yogurt, leafy greens, or even a splash of fortified almond milk in your coffee. And don't forget vitamin D. A daily 15-minute walk in the sunshine does wonders. Oh, and here's a tip my granddaughter taught me. Try weight-bearing exercises. No, you don't need dumbbells. Just standing up from your chair without using your hands or heel raises while you're brushing your teeth can help keep your bones sturdy. Now, these first 2 silent killers, high blood pressure and osteoporosis, they're masters of disguise. But with a little vigilance, we can pull back the curtain and take control. And here's what I want you to remember. This isn't about fear. It's about empowerment. Knowing what's lurking in the shadows means we can shine a light on it and say, "Not today." So let's keep that light shining bright. In our next chat, we'll tackle 2 more silent threats, ones that can chip away at your vitality in ways you might not expect. But I promise, by the end, you'll have a full toolkit to protect your health and keep enjoying the life you've earned. Until then, take a deep breath, check in with your body, and maybe share this video with a friend who'd appreciate the reminder. After all, we're in this together. You know, sometimes the most dangerous things in life aren't the ones that shout, they're the ones that whisper. Last time, we talked about high blood pressure and osteoporosis, those sneaky troublemakers that can catch us off guard. Today, we're going to uncover 2 more silent killers that might be hiding in plain sight. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll see just how powerful a little knowledge and a few small changes can be. Let's start with the 3rd silent killer, one that's been on the rise for years, yet so many of us miss the early signs until it's too late. Silent killer number 3, type 2 diabetes, the stealthy sugar saboteur. My cousin Linda loves baking. Every Sunday she'd whip up a batch of her famous cinnamon rolls and we'd all gather around her kitchen table. But over time she started feeling more tired than usual. Just getting older, she thought. Then came the constant thirst, the blurry vision. And one day, a trip to the doctor revealed her blood sugar levels were through the roof. Here's what's tricky. Type 2 diabetes doesn't always come with flashing lights. You might not notice anything wrong until it's already damaging your nerves, kidneys, or eyes. And while sweets like Linda's cinnamon rolls aren't the only culprit, it's the slow buildup of sugar in your bloodstream, from bread, pasta, even fruit juice, that can quietly strain your body over time. So, how do we catch it early? Get your blood sugar checked regularly, especially if you carry extra weight around your middle or have family history. A fasting glucose test or an A1C test, which shows your average blood sugar over 3 months, can spot trouble before it escalates. Now, stopping it? You don't have to give up dessert forever. Try pairing that slice of pie with a handful of nuts or a walk around the block afterward to balance your blood sugar. Swap white rice for quinoa or cauliflower rice a few times a week. And here's a trick I love. Add a dash of cinnamon to your oatmeal or coffee. Studies show it can help your body manage sugar better. Plus, it tastes like a hug in a mug. Now, let's talk about the 4th silent killer, one that's easy to ignore because it's literally hard to hear. Silent killer number 4, hearing loss, the isolation trap. A few winters back, my buddy Carl started cancelling our weekly card games. Just not feeling social, he'd say. Turns out Carl wasn't being antisocial. He was embarrassed because he couldn't follow conversations anymore. His hearing had been fading for years, but he brushed it off as everyone mumbling. What he didn't realize: isolation from hearing loss can lead to depression, cognitive decline, even a higher risk of falls. Here's the kicker. Our ears aren't just for listening to grandkids' laughter or birdsong in the morning. They're part of how we stay connected to the world and to ourselves. When we lose that connection, it's like unplugging a lamp. The room doesn't just go dark, it gets colder too. So how do we fight back? First, get your hearing tested, even if you think it's fine. Many clinics offer free screenings, and modern hearing aids are smaller and smarter than ever. Some even connect to your TV. Next, protect the hearing you've got. Turn down the volume on the TV and wear earplugs at loud events like concerts or grandkids' soccer games. And here's a tip my audiologist shared: practice active listening in noisy places. Sit facing the person you're talking to, watch their lips, and don't be afraid to say, "Let's move somewhere quieter." Most folks will understand. They're probably struggling too. Now, diabetes and hearing loss, they're like shadows. You might not see them coming, but once you know where to look, you can step into the light. And that's the heart of all of this, isn't it? Awareness. These silent killers thrive in the dark, in the "I'll deal with it later" corners of our minds. But when we shine a light, when we get those tests, make those small swaps, ask for help, we take back control. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one of these silent killers we've talked about today and take a single step this week to outsmart it. Maybe it's swapping one sugary snack for a crunchy veggie stick, or calling to schedule that hearing test you've been putting off. Progress, not perfection, is what keeps us moving forward. And in our final chat, we'll tie it all together. How to build a life where these silent killers don't stand a chance. Because you, my friend, deserve to enjoy every sunrise, every grandchild's giggle, and every dawn's cinnamon roll safely. Until then, be kind to yourself. Small steps are still steps. And remember, you're not just protecting your health, you're protecting your joy. You know, gardening has taught me a lot about life. You don't always see the growth happening day to day, but with a little care, some watering here, a bit of pruning there, you can stop problems before they take root. And that's exactly what we've been talking about these last few chats, tending to our health so we can keep blooming year after year. Let's take a moment to look back at the ground we've covered. We've talked about 4 silent killers: high blood pressure, osteoporosis, diabetes, and hearing loss, and how they sneak up on us. But here's what I want you to remember. Knowing about them is half the battle. The other half? Simple, steady steps to stay one step ahead. Think of it like this. Every morning I check my roses for aphids. I don't wait until the leaves are riddled with holes. A quick glance, a sprinkle of neem oil if needed, and the problem's solved before it starts. Our health works the same way. A few minutes a day, a few choices a week, and we can protect what matters most. So, how do we turn all this into a plan that sticks? Let's break it down into daily, weekly, and monthly habits. No overwhelm, just action. Daily. Start with your blood pressure. If you don't have a home monitor, consider getting one. They're affordable and easy to use. Check it while your morning coffee brews. For your bones, add a calcium-rich food to one meal, a slice of cheese on your sandwich, a handful of almonds as a snack. And for blood sugar, try eating your veggies first at meals. It slows down sugar absorption and keeps your energy steady. Weekly. Pick one day to focus on hearing health. Maybe Sunday evenings, when things are quiet, take 5 minutes to clean your ears gently. No cotton swabs, they're troublemakers. Or call a friend and really listen, not just to their words, but to how easily you follow the conversation. Monthly. Mark a day on your calendar for a health check-in, maybe the first of the month. Review your numbers. Blood pressure, blood sugar, if you're monitoring it, even your weight. And here's a pro tip. Pair it with something you enjoy, like a post-check-in treat. My vice? A square of dark chocolate and an old jazz record. Makes it feel less like a chore and more like a ritual. Now, I'll let you in on a secret. None of us do this perfectly. Last month I forgot my bone density scan appointment twice. But here's the thing, perfection isn't the goal, consistency is. Miss a day, start fresh the next morning, forgot your veggies, add extras at dinner. This isn't a race. It's a gentle, stubborn refusal to let life's silent storms catch us unprepared. So let's make a pact. Promise yourself you'll keep showing up, for checkups, for walks, for those moments when you choose an apple over a cookie. And when you slip up, talk to yourself like you talk to your dearest friend, kindly, with grace. And hey, if you've picked up a tip or two from this series, pay it forward. Share this video with someone who'd benefit. Drop a comment below telling me which silent killer surprised you most, or what small change you're excited to try. We're all in this together, learning as we go. Before I let you go, one last thing. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Why? Because growing older isn't about slowing down, it's about savoring more. And here on this channel, we're all about finding joy in the journey, one practical tip at a time. Thank you for trusting me with your time today. Now get out there and live, really live, every sun-soaked, laughter-filled, grandkid-hugging moment. You've earned it.